Fire or wind? Which one is better? This video will help you decide which one is better for a staff sorcerer. I'm going to show you which one brings more value in farming and bossing within the current context. Along this video, I will tabulate a scoring to see which one is more worthy. To start, let's look at the elemental advantage and disadvantages for fire and wind. I'm sure you are very familiar with this table right now. If you are not, you should. Now, for farming, let's look at this simple table. Here you can see that fire has one more element advantage over wind. With Juno included, fire is advantage against 50 earth and 29 undead monsters, while wind is advantage against 31 water monsters. On the disadvantage side, fire is up against 30 fire and 31 water monsters, while wind is up against 28 wind and 50 earth monsters. Add them up respectively, this is the result. So based on this information, I would say fire is better than wind when it comes to farming. Now, how about bossing? We will use the same table for bosses. And these are the numbers of bosses. From the looks of it, fire still has the advantage over wind. Or is it? There's one thing that we have overlooked, and this could possibly reshuffle the table. If you are thinking of shadow equipment, yes, then you are right. Under the contact tab, you will find elemental knowledge, which is related to this skill. The effect adds bonus damage to fire and water monsters. On top of that, this bonus damage is an additional multiplier within the damage formula. So now, wind gains an upper hand even though it only has a 100% element advantage against fire, and that means the table now will look like this. With that, but all are just talks if you can't deal the damage. So, building up your character is the #1 priority. Here, we will look at the cost to build fire as compared to wind, and the most straightforward thing to look at is card. If you are free to play like me, then element card is the most decisive factor to consider. At the point of making this video, the prices of fire and wind card are as follow. Fire card used to be a lot more expensive, but now it seems like the table has turned. However, with the launch of Juno right now, there is another option for elemental cards which slots into headgears, but the price right now is... So if you are in KOF, then building fire will be cheaper as of now. But wait, we have to go back and take a look at our shadow equipment again, because as far as elemental percent is in concern, there's one more skill that you can take into consideration, and that is elemental mastery. At SE6, you can get 15% enhancement for water and wind. That is equivalent to one card. Either using this skill to boost your element enhancement or replacing it with one card is still a win over fire. For the final point is class conversion. Many mage players right now have jumped onto the Hyper Novice bandwagon, and with the possibility of inheriting your 2-hand to 1-hand weapon right now, plus to save you tons of resources, wind will be a better choice over fire. As much as I built on fire for my very own reason, wind still has the overall advantage for mage class in ROX. So, what's your choice?